But if we know something more about the nature of these problems, sometimes we can be better prepared.
The merit gained by performing this deed is immense. Because during the night, monks must do their prayers and study the Pali language.
After meditation are also very, very important to your life.
If I gonna die now, what's the good deed I feel proud for that.
Yes. Today we will be doing jasmine garland.
Sawadee welcome to another edition of Meditation for All. I am Sunanpon Rotjan and I will be guiding you through the program. Coming up on our mini-series on meditation and self-development, Venerable Nicholas Thanisaro will show us how to take our minds back to the natural state of existence and to achieve a happy mind. In order to do that, we must have a clear mind about our self-development, which rise from our own weaknesses, the weakness of our body, our psyche, and others in society.
Welcome back to our mini-series on meditation and self-development. Last week we've already looked at how to measure ourselves up in terms of 6 personal qualities, which will be the factors which allow us to know whether it would be better to tackle a problem in our personal development or problems in the world around us, or whether it would be better to be patient about it. This week we're going to go a little further in learning how this clear vision about our self-development can help us to overcome some of what we call demons, which can otherwise intervene in our efforts to develop ourselves. If you go to sea, it's said that you have to be prepared to encounter high waves and storms, and in the same way, even if we have a clear vision of our own self-development, sometimes once we get down to the work of improving ourselves, we may find that there are many obstacles which will come in the way of our success. If we are not prepared or if we don't know what to expect, then sometimes these obstacles can seem like a big or unsurmountable problem in our meditation development. But if we know something more about the nature of these problems, sometimes we can be better prepared. And this is why today we're going to look at what we call 5 demons, which tend to crop up as we make progress in our course of our meditation development. In fact, these demons are originating from weaknesses which we have in ourselves and others. They're the same weaknesses, in effect, that we are trying to overcome in the course of our self-development. There are weaknesses in our own human makeup, such as weaknesses of the psyche, things like the inability to take fair decisions, or maybe our inability to resist temptation in certain cases, that of perhaps money or fame. And of course there are the weaknesses of our own body, and there's the weaknesses which we find in others around us. We have big expectations of other people, but sometimes we find that we are unable to face up to the untrustworthiness of others, or sometimes we find that we are disappointed when we try to deal with the weaknesses of other people. Also, there are weaknesses in society. We find that in society around us there are many people who like to make profit out of the suffering of others. Things like drug addicts or pests or even alcoholics in society. Sometimes it's difficult to know how to overcome these sort of problems when we are trying to improve our own self-development. But the best thing we can do in the start is to be able to recognize these faults and to know something about the way in which we can protect ourselves from these. Well, let's look first of all at what we actually mean by these 5 demons. The first demon is what we call the demon of weaknesses in our mind. If you want to know the Buddhist terminology for that, it's kilesa mara. These are the defilements or habits in our own mind which are not good ones. The second of the maras, or the demons, is what we call the weaknesses of the body. And this, in Buddhist terminology, is called khandha mara. This means the faults in the hardware of our body and mind that get in the way of the pursuit of our good deeds. The third one is our own reputation or personal past. In Buddhist terminology, this is called Abhisankhara Mara. And these are some of the bad things we may have in our past, which will spoil our reputation in the present time. The fourth sort of demon is the others around us who may be annoying to us when we are trying to do the work of our self-development. In Buddhist terminology, these are known as the Deva Putta Maras. And last but not least, a very important demon, which is the demon of death itself, or the fear of death, which is known as Majju Mara in Buddhist terminology. So there are these 5 sort of shadows which follow us around everywhere. Whether we try to attempt personal self-development or not, doesn't make a difference to whether we have these Maras, because they're going to follow us around anyway. But normally they only show themselves when we come to making an attempt to improve on ourselves. So if you want to prepare yourself for the appearance of these Maras, let's look first of all at what they are, and then perhaps see how we can deal with them. The weaknesses of the mind, the first sort of demon, are the images which go through the mind, especially the ones before we do a task or say something aloud. And these images can be affected by what we call kilesa, or defilements in the mind. These are the real demons which are hidden away in our mind, and they tend to belong to 3 different families. 3 families which in fact we've met earlier on in this mini-series, those of greed, hatred and delusion. You may think that these are developed as a result of our society, but they can even be seen in the smallest of babies who, when they're born into the world, they are bawling with greed or anger, or they have ignorance about the world around them. It's something which we bring with us, unfortunately, into the world. But unless we do something about it, then we cannot uproot these defilements, and we suffer increasingly from the influence of these things on our things we say and the things that we do. Mostly, when we are dealing with them, we have to remember that they express themselves in 2 ways. Firstly, in the decisions which we make, and if we find that we are making biased decisions as a result of the Kilesa Mara in our mind, then we need to have some standards for making our decisions which will keep our decisions on the straight and narrow. That's something which we're going to be looking a little more at next week. The other sort of way in which defilements tend to express themselves is in the form of temptations. And if we find that we still succumb to temptations to do things which are not actually wholesome or compatible with our self-development, then we do need to develop a little more of the patience which we mentioned last time round. The second sort of demon which we may come across is the demon of the weaknesses of our body, or the Khandha Mara. We may think, for as long as we are healthy, that such a demon doesn't exist for us, but just wait until you get into your old age and you'll start to appreciate some of the weaknesses which you do have built into your body. Even listening to this Meditation for All program relies on many things, like having a good sense of hearing and the health to sit up straight and to be attentive. But if even the hardware of your body is affected by your health, then even your attempt to do something good on this occasion by supplementing your knowledge about meditation may be interfered with if you have limits according to the Khandha Mara in your own body or mind. This will particularly affect you if you have diseases which you are confronting. They seriously weaken your ability to be able to do good deeds in your life. So we can reduce our tendency for these to some extent, not to the whole extent I'm sure, because we cannot avoid old age, but we can especially prevent some of the diseases which tend to occur when we go out looking for diseases to inflict ourselves with. And this is particularly the case when people tend to break what we call the 5 precepts by getting involved in aggression or harming others, stealing or committing acts of promiscuity, or even telling lies and drinking alcohol. I think in the modern day world we all agree that these are ways in which we do undermine our own health. So if we can maintain the 5 precepts, then this is one particularly good way of undermining the strength of the Khandha Mara, which would otherwise destroy our health. The other thing which is useful to avoid is what we call the roads to ruin. And the roads to ruin also include alcohol, but there are another 5 of these, which are those who tend to enjoy the nightlife, especially frequenting the ladies of the night, those who tend to become so addicted to entertainment that they do nothing else all their life, those who are gamblers, those who tend to associate with evil friends, and also those who are too lazy to work. These are 6 factors which we call the roads to ruin, which if you do succumb to these, then again you tend to undermine your own health in many ways, undermine your own ability to do as many good deeds in your life as you might like to. A third sort of Mara which we often come across, something which we have accumulated for ourselves in the past, is that of our reputation. Many items of goodness which we can do in the world, especially if we're going to encourage others to do according to our example, rely on the fact that we have a good reputation. Once you spoil your reputation, then sometimes it's a lot harder to be able to convince others to follow our example. But unfortunately, if you have a black spot in your past, this tends to come creeping back immediately. You try to encourage other people to do good deeds. Ask what you can do about it. Well, there's not much you can do about it later once your reputation is spoiled, apart from trying to make a better reputation for yourself in the future. But if you know that, then you must guard your reputation with great fervor to try to make sure that you can be a model for others to follow in all respects. One thing which particularly affects this is the way you earn your livelihood. If you earn your livelihood in a way which is scrupulous, then that will do a lot to improve on your reputation. But also there are certain livelihoods which you should try to avoid if you want to protect your reputation, things such as the selling of weapons, the selling of people, slaves, or even the flesh trade, as it's called, for the case of things like prostitution, selling things like animals to the abattoir. Even if you don't kill them yourself, but you're selling animals to the abattoir, then you will spoil your reputation as a humane person. Selling alcohol and also selling poisons. Again, these would undermine our reputation as a humane person. So if we can take care of the sort of livelihood which we follow, this is one thing which will contribute to our better reputation. The fourth sort of Mara or demon which we tend to come across is actually the demons personified, which means that the people we are talking about are actually not inside us at all, but they're coming from other people. This is, for example, when you're trying to sit down and meditate in the evening and you hear the sound of a motorcycle going past with the silencer removed, or when you hear the drunk next door shouting and singing when you prefer to be doing your meditation practice, then these are examples of Deva Bhuta Maras who are coming to undermine your efforts to do good deeds. If you ask yourself whether you ever did this to others in the past, then the answer is certainly yes, because if you hadn't done it to them in the past, surely they wouldn't do it to you. But if you would like to improve this situation, it only emphasizes the need for us to reach out to others with our personal practice of self-development so that others may be inspired by our example. It's no good doing good deeds in a vacuum if you don't encourage other people to do them as well. Otherwise, one day, your bad environment will tend to catch up with you. This is why we will come to the factor of social skills and integration in doing our good deeds. It's necessary to be a good friend to others, to encourage them to do good deeds as well, if you really want peace and quiet, for example, when you want to do your meditation. Last but not least is death itself. Death does tend to cut us off in our tracks when we want to do good deeds. Our human life is very valuable to us when it comes to doing good deeds, but if we are cut off in our tracks, maybe by curtailed lifespan, then that is something which we really cannot do anything much about, apart from making sure that we're not so reckless that our life is cut off in its tracks before it's due to do so. But one thing which can be even more frightening from the point of view of death is that some people are so afraid of dying that the fear itself prevents them from doing as many good deeds as they might normally do. We can sometimes meet up with this when we're meditating. We may find things coming up in our meditation which do frighten us so much that they scare us off making any more progress. You hear some people exaggerating. They would say, oh, I feel so many aches and pains that I'd meditate to the death, or I feel so as if I'm dicing with death when I'm meditating. Such complaints indicate that people are not only afraid of death, but they are afraid even of the possibility of death. So if we can overcome that, then at the same time we'll be able to overcome this fifth of the Maras, which is the Mara of death itself. So these are Maras which we may come across in the course of our doing good deeds. One thing which many people tend to do when they try to do good deeds and they don't succeed is to point the finger at other people, try to put all the faults on other people instead of taking responsibility for those faults themselves. But one thing which we do find, and which we can learn from these 5 Maras, is that every time we point the finger at someone else, we find that there are another 4 fingers which are pointing straight back at ourselves. This is exactly the same case as with the 5 Maras. There's only one of the Maras which really comes from other people, and that is the Devabhuta Maras. The other 4 of the 5 Maras all come from ourselves in one way or another. So next time we come across obstacles in our meditation or in our practice of self-development, before we go finding fault with other people, we ought to be looking at the faults in ourselves first, because 80% of the possible obstacles to our self-development do come from ourselves. So, this week we've taken a look at the 5 demons, which we are sure to encounter every time we make the attempt to do good deeds. Hopefully, if we can identify them and put a name to them, then we will not be so easily discouraged when we meet up with them in the course of our self-development. So next time, we're going to be looking at some of the meanings of the word moderation when it comes to our self-development. In the meantime, keep up your meditation practice. Hopefully you won't be meeting up with too many of those demons during the week, and I'll see you again in 7 days.
Next on Buddhist Culture, you will see the last of 3 episodes on Pana. You will learn that Pana, or refreshments, which monks are allowed, are not restricted to liquid forms. In order to sustain the strength to pass down the teachings of the Lord Buddha, a number of chewing substances can be taken by monks. You also learn the importance of the role that lay people play in Pana preparations.
Pana is widely known as liquid refreshment, but in some cases, it can also be applied to chewing substances, such as candy, chocolate, cheese, as a result of modern advances in technology used to make candy and chocolate. In the past, the eating of chunk cheese as afternoon Pana was also discovered. In areas where the weather is very cold, chunk cheese is offered to monks to help them keep their warmth. Sometimes, this Pana is given to young monks and novices as chewing refreshment, considering that it brings no harm to their health, as otherwise might be the case for the elderly. In Southeast Asia, monks are frequently seen using fresh or sweetened tamarind and emblic fruit, or Indian gooseberry, all also allowed by the Lord Buddha as another form of Pana. They are both refreshing and also have a light digestive quality. Thus, they are popular among elderly monks on their journeys to remote areas. Monks and novices are considered the strength of Buddhism. as they are the ones who pass down the true teaching of peace and happiness to all. Receiving Pana is a humble potion of energy for sustainability. Lay people also play a supporting role in taking the responsibility of offering Pana to the monks. They learn how to be mindful through the preparation of this delicate gift. The merit gained by performing this deed is immense, because during the night, monks must do their prayers and study the Pali language for a clear understanding of Buddha's teachings, in order to preserve and pass it down to us.
A display of generosity can be seen throughout the Kingdom of Thailand. Also, the offering of alms to monks can be seen throughout the country. It teaches us gratitude, generosity, and the importance of preserving the teachings of the Lord Buddha. Venerable Somsak Biyasilo now lead a meditation session in order for us to spread our loving kindness to all.
This is meditation for all. Welcome back to the class. This is session 3 of part 2. If you can remember, last time we talked about what we should do before practicing meditation. But this time, I would like to introduce some techniques of what we should do right after meditation. Because the feelings after meditation are also very, very important to your life. Right after meditation, I would like to say we should not move right away, but we should let the feeling of being with the inner peace inside to remain for a few more moments. We should not do some activities right away. Let peace prevail in the moment of life for some time. It is important about the absorption of the feelings. The absorption of the feelings mainly will be through the ears and the eyes. For example, if you watch movies through the eyes or listen to the music through the ears, the feelings will get absorbed into the mind, and this will obstruct the feeling of peacefulness to blossom in the heart of your mind. So before and after meditation, we have to be careful not to be so aggressive. Aggressive manner or aggression will block serenity or peace inside to come out to your personality. And at the same time, It prevents others to see your inner serenity, inner beauty of your inside. So before and after meditation, we should remain focused very well in the center of the body. By now, we should be ready for meditation. Remember, a glass or a cup of lukewarm water, it is a good drink before we begin practicing meditation. And if you are ready for meditation, let's start it now. If you are ready, slowly close the eyes. Gently let the eyelids just about to be closed. Let the softness around the eyes radiate to all other parts of the body. Relax every part of the body. Relax them all so well, from the head down to the heels. Let go all the tensions all around. Examine the entire body in order to make sure that every single part is tension-free. Imagine as if the entire body is soaked up in the stream of relaxation. Relax again and again, all over. And we can take a good deep breath. Allow the soft air, enter the body, deep down to the turning point as we have known so well. The turning point is the point where the in-breath has turned to be the out-breath. We also call this the station of peace. The mind focuses at this turning point. Let the vision of a round crystal ball, bright, clean and clear, to turn up at the center of the body or at the turning point anyway. We shall not use force to make the shape of the crystal ball so sharp. We just allow the vision of the crystal ball just to appear right here in the center of the body. Allow the vision to take place softly. From time to time, the image, the picture of the sphere form may come and go. If we don't mind if they go, we just stay calm, peaceful right here. The vision will just come back from time to time. So we shall not apply any force of any kind at any extent. Remain quiet, peaceful over here. In the Oriental world, Oriental philosophy, we believe in the center of the body, this is the origin of life. The origin of life starts with a sphere form right at the center. A sphere form is always bright, clean and clear. We call this the seed of life. The seed of life resembles the crystal ball, a tiny one residing secretly in the center of the body. Every life begins from here. Also, in the Oriental philosophy, the real self exists inside. The real self is not a theory, it is not a feeling, it is not a dream. But by means of meditation, anyone, including you yourself, is able to discover, to find your real self over here. Without meditation, nobody could discover his or her real self. Thanks to the meditation of the Oriental practice, we can learn, we can practice, we can begin to get in touch with our real self inside. Make sure relaxation prevails in our feeling all the time. Relax always. Stay right in the center at this station of peace, always. And if we want to share peace inside to the world, it is possible, as easy as a click. We can expand, enlarge the tiny crystal ball inside in all directions. A small sphere of crystal ball can become a bigger sphere, expanding softly but powerful, expanding bigger and bigger until it can wrap up the whole body of ours. In case we want to share inner peace to the world, let's expand this sphere limitlessly. Expand it out, away, far and endless to share peace to the world. Remember at the beginning of this session, after meditation, it is recommended that we remain quiet and peaceful over the center. Keep yourself wrapped up inside for a few moments. Don't stand up right away. Don't walk out right away. Remain appreciating the inner peace we have created by ourselves by means of meditation. And if the time is about to be up, gently open up very softly. Open up softly. Enjoy the moments with your own insight for a while. Welcome to the world of benefits from meditation. Enjoy meditation with your own selves until we meet next time. Be a good practitioner. Be a good practitioner of meditation. See you later. Goodbye.
Nini Gevelin enjoys interviewing her guests so much that she always finds things in common with the guests to share with the viewers. Coming up, Ken and Penny will be talking about a dream they both experienced that led to the construction of the meditation center built to serve the local community.
Now, we're going to come back about this events, which is coming very soon, which is Katrina.
Katrina? Yes.
I love that because my daughter named Katrina.
I see.
But then this is like Katrin.
Yeah, Katrina.
Anyway, before I do that, I have something that I heard about you that inspired you so much. From the beginning, that's the reason why you go to Australia and to have the temple over there, and all of this idea birth that you talk about it.
Yes.
What is it?
And a picture of
Oh my God.
I will show the people at home later.
Yes.
Remember?
Yes.
Yes.
This picture.
That's
Now
my
I'm gonna show-
dream.
I know. Anyway, this is the outfit from last year's event. If the camera can come closer to me, about the event of Katrina Festival last year. And basically, this is made of gold. She's Miss Thailand Universe.
Thailand Universe.
Last year. She also joined our temple and also wearing this beautiful outfit. And I'm sure that every one of us would like to wear one of these, all the women out there. I'm one of them. Anyway, this is such a beautiful outfit.
Yeah.
And of course, this outfit is like belong to Miss Visakha. If anybody knows, of course, she's very famous and well-known for her kindness, generosity, the most powerful woman in the Buddha's time, that giving so much to do donation, to build a temple and so forth. That's why we want to talk about this today, because my friend here, Penny, she inspired by this picture so much, and so far this is the outfit that I have.
It's nice one
Oh,
too.
thank you. I just got this picture. So I said, yeah, I would like to wear that too, but this is as far as I can get to. Hopefully one day. Anyway, so tell me more about it. What made you love this outfit or inspire you so much?
I watched the DMC, and on that time, Luang Por say about Miss Visakha.
Right.
And he told about her story, and the one in that story, he created a new song and called Bun Ban Thang.
Right.
On that song is about she very proud herself. She can build up the beautiful temple by her own, and she walk around in the temple with the full of the eyes because she's so proud. And when I saw that song, I feel like I'm in that one. I feel like I go around to that temple and crying too, and I feel that's why the first question I ask myself, if I gonna die now, what's the good deed I feel proud for that. I done so many good deeds,
and can recognize right away and impress you the most.
It is, and I feel like that's the one I want to do it. That's the one I want to do it, and that's I keep in thinking and in plan. I think, okay, now I'm in the Brisbane, and Brisbane that doesn't have any permanent center, and only in my apartment, because we got the monk to come to our apartment every month. So we think we have to do some permanent things. So we plan to do it, and now we got it. And now we got it, and I can tell you now, we got the people to come to our center, about 60 people, and I feel proud every time when I see the people come and use it.
Even though we just met today, I'm telling you right now, every word you said is in my heart. And not only that, I'm so proud of both of you to do what you did. And you are to me Miss Visakha in Australia.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's good.
Yes, she is, isn't it?
She is.
Because willingly to give up a lot, because by thinking about building the temple, it's not easy to do, especially somewhere out there. That if you can share with me a little bit, because it's not easy. So how hard it is for you, but you never give up anyway.
It's never give up. It's just you have to start from the beginning, which is when people come to meditations in the council or in the law, you can't get the people to come to residentials as a meditation like 10 people. You have to find out the place which is people can come meditations, not conflict with the neighbor, and you have to find out where they can park the car as well. And that's why we spend about nearly 5 or 6 years to find out where it should be, and the money as well, which is you have to go to the bank, and the bank give you like almost of the loan, which is residential give you 80%, commercial give you 60%, thing like that.
So
Also, also you have to understand about neighbor as well, which is the neighbor is not again cooperate. Someone is not like religious. Doesn't matter what you're doing, and they want privacy, thing like that. And this time finally we find this place which is 2-story, and then we can fit out about 160 people. And we thought we take about a year to get about 60 people, but now it's about only 4 months we get about 60 people.
We got 60 people. Upstairs already full.
And then we running out of time right now. So would you like to say anything to anybody out there?
In the Brisbane Center, we have our meditation class for the English speaking. It's happen every Saturday at 5:30 p.m. until 6:30 p.m. If you like to join us, please call us.
Okay, see, even though I asked her to just say something, she's still trying to get me to go there. She worked all the time, and you, sir?
And I'd like to thank you for all of everybody to come to help us, which is donate everything, come to help painting, come to help everything you can help. Really, really thank you for all. And we like to go ahead and we like to go big, as Lopal said. It's not just the group, it's about the world.
We will go together.
Come to join us and then we be together as one.
And thank you for joining us today and goodbye สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีครับ
ค่ะ
In this edition of Cut and Carve, Rose and her sister Crystal will show us how to make jasmine garlands. You will see that the making of garlands, aside from giving us aesthetic pleasures, also encourages the refinement of our actions and minds.
No matter which way my life turns, no matter easy or hard.
สวัสดีค่ะ Hi, I'm Rosalind Meepan and I will be your host on this show called Cut and Carve. Cut and Carve is a show that will be teaching you Thai traditional craft. Today, as our guest and our teacher, we have Bayawalak, สวัสดีค่ะ
สวัสดีค่ะ
and Bayawaled, สวัสดีค่ะ Also, today, as a special guest, I have my little cousin Crystal to learn the craft with me.
สวัสดีค่ะ
Today, we will be doing jasmine garland. วันนี้อุปกรณ์ต้องใช้อะไรมั่งคะ
วันนี้เราจะมาเรียนการร้อยพวงมาลัยโดยใช้ดอกมะลินะคะ
For today, the props, you'll need 1. The needle 2. Vaseline 3. Either a rope or strings 4. Banana leaf to be the base 5. Scissors and of course, jasmine แล้วอุปกรณ์นี้ใช้ทำอะไรมั่งคะ
อย่างสมมติเข็มนะคะ
ค่ะ
กับอันนี้แป้นนะคะสำหรับรองเวลาตอนเข็มเข้าไปนะคะ
ค่ะ
เสร็จแล้วปุ๊บเนี่ยมันมีหน้าที่ก็คือยันไว้เวลาเราเอาดอกมะลิเนี่ยลูบลงไปก็จะอยู่
First of all, you need this, the banana leaf, to hold the flowers down for the base. You put it in the needle like so. For today, we're going to learn how to do this. This part is the bottom part, which is much easier than this part. This is called the round garland.
วัสลินเวลาเราร้อยนะคะเราก็จะใช้บางทีใช้เข็มจี้ก็ได้แล้วก็ใส่เสียบอย่างนี้ค่ะแล้วก็มันจะทำให้ลื่นแล้วก็เวลาเข็มแทงไปเนี่ยตรงนี้จะไม่แตกนะคะ
For the Vaseline, you put it on the needle. You can either dip the needle in or you can pick it with your finger and just slide it through. The Vaseline will hold the stem together. The stem is weak, so when you put the Vaseline, it makes it smooth.
อันแรกก็เรียก2-3 นะคะ
ค่ะ
อันนี้ถ้าเกิดเราเริ่มแรกก่อนเลย3 ดอกนะคะวางไปเลย3 ดอกนะคะเรียบร้อยเลย
อันนี้ใช้แค่3 ดอก
3 ดอกก่อนนะคะอย่างนี้นะคะเสร็จแล้วเราก็สับวางเรียกสับวางอีก2 ดอกนะคะอันที่2นะคะ
ก็3 2 3 2
ไปเรื่อยๆจนกระทั่งได้ยาวเท่าที่เราต้องการ
ค่ะ
เวลารูดนะคะกดเล็กๆกดนิดๆ
แล้วก็กดให้มันอยู่ด้วยกัน
สับวางนะคะ
When you put the jasmine in, first, as the easy one, you should put 3. When you put 3 in, for the another level, put 2. Put it in between each other. For this, you should keep on going 3, 2, 3, 2, 3, 2 until you got to the measurement that you want.
พอเสร็จปุ๊บนะคะเดี๋ยวเราก็จะร้อยใช้นี่ก็ได้หรือใช้ได้นี่ก็ได้
For the string, you can either use the string or this one. This one's made out of plastic, so it's much rougher than this one. When you use this one, it's for the round one. It makes the garland a little more softer and it can make it more glamorous.
อันนี้นะคะถ้ารูดเสร็จปุ๊บเนี่ยเราจะใช้ได้หลายๆอย่างก็คือทำซีกตรงพวงมาลัยนะคะต่อกับอุบะนะคะตรงนู้นเขาเรียกอุบะอันนี้เขาเรียกมาซีกนะคะ
It can be put as like this to hold in the circular, or you can make it to decorate. Decorating would be like the one on Crystal. On her hair, she has one sort of like a headband. For the base, you need a banana leaf.
นะคะก็เอาตอนฉีกมาเป็นแผ่นละอย่างนี้นะคะ
ค่ะ
แล้วเราก็ตัดหัวตัดท้ายนะคะเพื่อในการสอดจะได้ง่ายขึ้นแล้วก็เสร็จแล้วก็อันนี้นะคะเศษ1/3นะคะ
ค่ะ
แล้วก็ตัดประมาณนี้ ประมาณเอานะคะบางทีก็อาจจะใช้กระเอานะคะแล้วเสร็จแล้วเราก็มาทำกระบะตรงเนี้ยค่ะ
ค่ะ
เสร็จแล้วก็พับแล้วก็อย่างนี้นะคะ
ค่ะ
แล้วก็ทับอีกทีนึงนะคะจะเหลือปลายแล้วจะมีที่สอดนะคะเรา
แล้วก็
ใช้ไปตองเข้าไปนะคะ
ค่ะ
นะคะจะเป็นอย่างนี้
ค่ะ For the banana leaf, cut it sort of in half. Make one shorter than the other one. Once one is shorter, the shorter one, put it under the longer one. The shorter one should be horizontal. The longer one should be vertical. So, once you have one on top of the other, fold the horizontal one like inward. And then after that, fold the vertical one. Once you fold it in, there should be a slot to put it in.
แล้วลองเลยนะคะ
ค่ะ
รถจับนะคะแล้วก็จับแป้นนะคะ
Take the base, put it in the center of the needle. Right there.
เวลาสอดเข็มนะคะ ให้วัดดูจากฐานนะคะ
ค่ะ
แล้วก็ลูกขึ้นเราจะได้เท่ากัน
The jasmine you use, the stem should be about the same size. So, when you use it, it would be the same size. แล้วก็สอดเข้าไปเลย Try to put it in sort of in the middle of the stem. So, if you're not sure about the measurement, just take the jasmine, hold it, measure it about the same size, go up, and push it in. Making a jasmine garland can help in many ways. It can make you patient and very calm. So, when you have at least 3 rows, push it down. Now we're showing you how to put the jasmine onto the string. We're using the string that they use through the market. Throughout the market, they would use this kind of string.
เสร็จแล้วสอดเสร็จแล้วนะคะสักประมาณเท่านี้นะคะ
ค่ะ
เสร็จแล้วก็จับมือขวาจับแล้วก็จับเข็มลูกอย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
โอ้
นะคะก็จะเป็นมาลายสูเสร็จแล้วตรงนี้ก็คือถ้าเราไปเข้ากับอุบะแล้วก็จะคล่อมส่วนนี้เลย
ก็มัดได้เลย
นะคะคล่อม
ค่ะ
นะคะพอทำพวงตัวกลมเสร็จนะคะ แล้วก็เอาตัวนี้มาใส่ซี่อย่างเงี้ยค่ะ
Once you put it on the string and you tied up the ends, you should get a circular form. When you do it, make sure that when you slot this in and pull down the jasmine, hold it lightly. Pull it down lightly with your left hand. Left hand.
What is this?
เขาเรียกอุบะนะคะ ก็คือเดี๋ยวป้าจะสอนวิธีทำอุบะ ก็คือเริ่มจากดอกเล็กสุดดอกเล็กแข็งๆหน่อยเพื่อจะไม่ให้มันแน่นนะคะเนี่ยดอกเล็กๆแล้วก็ดอกที่สองก็ใหญ่ขึ้นมาอย่างนี้นึงตัดก้านด้วยนะคะ เราจะได้สวมก็ได้สนิทนะแล้วก็ดอกที่สามก็ใหญ่เพิ่มขึ้นไปอีกนิดนึงสามแล้วนะคะ ดอกที่สี่ก็ใหญ่ขึ้นไปอีกนิดนึงจนพอดอกที่ห้าก็ดอกใหญ่สุดเลยบานสุดเลยค่ะเนี่ยสวมกัน5 ดอกพอต่อจากนี้แล้วก็จะเก็บดอกเล็กๆขึ้นไปอีก7 ดอก
For this dangling part, which what she's showing right now, you're gonna need 5 on the bottom, starting with the smallest one, all the way to the big, which is gonna turn out to be oval, and then 7 more on top, which is the same size to separate the 2 sections.
ตรงนี้ที่เราเรียกอุบะนะคะพอร้อยเสร็จตรงนี้ปุ๊บเราก็ใช้เชือกนะคะสอดเข็นเข้าไปแล้วก็เสร็จแล้ว
Just like the rest of the garland, you put in the string through the hole of the needle.
ใช้มือนะคะลูบ
Gently hold the whole thing and slide it down to the end of the string. In making a garland, there's the round one, the semicircle, the mini semicircle, and the dangling thing. Anyways, for this one, you need about 17 strings. But depending on the size of the circle, if it's bigger, you add more dangling. If it's smaller, you add less. For this one, it's a circle, so this would be the first step. The second one, for this one, the semicircle, would be the second step. Then you add in this part as a third step, and then close it up with this one, the other semicircle. แล้วอันนี้ก็เสร็จแล้วใช่ไหม
เสร็จแล้วค่ะเป็น
Either than this kind, which is the jasmine kind, we can also use orchid. If you don't have jasmine at home, you can always use orchid or leaves. So, join us again next week, and we're going to be making a garland as so, and we will also be making, we're going to be using the petals of the orchid. แล้วอันนี้อะไรคะ
อันนี้ดอกรัก
ดอกรัก So join us again next week, and thank you very much for watching, and ขอบคุณนะเยาวเลศแล้วเยาวรักษ์ที่มานะคะ Thank you for joining our show. Hope you watch us next week. Thank you. สวัสดีค่ะ
Stand strong and fight on, 'cause we are kids of the world, can make a brighter day for all. So believe in yourself and fight on.
We hope you have enjoyed this edition of Meditation for All. Your comments and questions can be sent to our email address at meditationforall@yahoo.com. Until next time, goodbye. สวัสดีค่ะ